Hey guys, Firum here, and this will be my garage video after 3 years of playing Asphalt 8. Now I'm doing this a bit differently. This is live commentary. I'm not recording it after the fact, I'm doing it as I'm in the game. This is because when I get to specific cars, I want to talk about them and just go through like that. So we're going to start at the beginning, go all the way through the end, and hopefully we will have a little bit of nostalgia looking at some of these old cars. So of course, we've Max Pro'd the Dodge Dart, the very first car in the game that everybody gets with this really nice Eagle decal. Okay, then we continue up through Class D. Not too much else down here. Max Pro'd pretty much all of the early cars. The Scion I got before it went out. I wonder how long it will be before we see our first non-Max Pro one. So this one. I never Max Pro'd for some reason. This was one of my earliest multiplayer cars, so I still remember having great memories with that. This one here, yeah, it just was not much great for anything. So we keep going up here, get to the Camaro Z28, which was, I think, maybe my first car that I got through Mastery rewards. And yes, my favorite car in the entire game, the 2015 Ford Mustang in purple, my favorite color. And then we've got the Hot Wheels car, of course. Porsche 959, which was one of the best multiplayer cars as well for a while at low ranks. It still is. And our first car that we haven't bought. The 308 GTS. I don't know why I haven't bought that yet. Then this M3 sedan, which I also haven't bought. And this car, which I probably should tune up. Then this one, which I don't think I upgraded handling on. I think I was doing that on a lot of cars to save money. And the 4C, my very first car that I won in an R&D. It was a very easy R&D, but I was very proud of it because it was the first one I'd gotten. And the king of Class D. Well, except for possibly the, let's see, this guy, which I haven't Max Pro'd on some tracks. Then the car that required like 68 V8 engines, which was the start of the crazy amounts of engines for different cars. Then I think we're on to Class C. Yes, here again we've maxed it except for the handling. So in beginning of Class C, not too much to note. These are some of the early cars in the game. The KTM Super Duke, my least favorite bike in the game. And we have the Range Rover, another one of my very early multiplayer cars, which I have Max Pro'd a long time ago for Events. Another weird Hot Wheels car, another decent multiplayer car. And then, oh yeah, so this Ferrari 612 Scaglietti was my 100th car. So yeah, I made a video about that a while ago. I don't remember having that weird decal on that car. I remember using this car for quite a long time in Class C events, so pretty special to me, even though it's not very good at all. And then we have this horrible Porsche SLK Normal Edition, and the Jaguar, which I have not bought because it's still a lot of tokens, and more cars that are just randomly not tuned up. That is so weird. The M2, I used this car for a very long time in multiplayer before I got the Cobra, I think it was. Cadillac ATS-V Coupe, which I planned on doing a video on, but never did because it was just so bad. Mira, another one of my early multiplayer cars, along with the Biome, I think, which will come later. And this horrible little thing. And this fun little M14A. And the Whale, which honestly was pretty good. Like, compared to the M2 and Cobra, it could do just about as good as they could. ED Design Torque. This was actually the second R&D car that I ever won. Have not bought the Eclipse yet for some reason. Got this car before it went out of the game for able to purchase, and here, another one that I haven't bought. CLA, still my C-Class car that I use. Because oh yeah, and this was the first car that I made a video for in the Asphalt channel. Because I've not Max Pro'd my Alpine, I've not Max Pro'd my Nissan 370Z Special Edition, although it's pretty close. All I have to do is upgrade acceleration and handling, which I probably should do, then I'll have a better C-Class car for events. And this one, I just never really upgraded. I don't know why. Probably good to tune that one up as well. And we've got the Maserati Alfieri, which is technically the car king of Class C on most tracks, which I just still have multiplayer tuned. And we come to Class B. So this is the Servolt, and this is probably the first B-Class car that pretty much everybody got, and yeah, it's very well known. I got that neat decal on it. Not many other interesting cars in early Class B. Got this Ducati Monster bike, which is not too bad. And the Mazda Furai, cool looking car that just was not very good. And the Biome, so this is one of my earliest multiplayer cars. I was using this one for quite a while, then I think I got the Miura, which was slower, but better, and yeah. This one served me for quite a while. Moving up through here, we get to the Ford Shelby GT500. I think one of the first cars that I ever max pro'd in this game, and still one of my favorite cars in the game. And I bought this really cool flame decal for it for like 200 tokens or something. The only token decal I ever bought, because it was for a very special car. Integra Type R, still good memories in that one. And the Cobra 1234, I have not upgraded it past this tune. Alright, and this was actually my 199th car. I bought it for a collection. It was funny. It cost, I think, $300,000. I got $400,000 back for it. So that was pretty funny. Keep going up here. Don't have the SS yet. And the MP48, which I don't really... I did use this in multiplayer for a little bit, I think. Still never fully pro'd it out. And the Cigaris, which is still at this tune from my previous multiplayer video about it. Still, I mean, not too bad of a car even now. Holden Coupe, Lamborghini Estoque. So many of these B-Class cars around here could be tuned for multiplayer. Don't have the Lusso. Got my Max Pro AMG GT3. And my, well, not Max Pro M2 SE. Somewhere pretty close though. Don't have the Bentley, the boat. Don't have this one Max Pro'd either. And the Apollo N. Okay, now moving on to Class A, the Ford GT, which is infamously known for being very expensive to upgrade while being the lowest car in its class. Yeah, I don't exactly know what happened there. So we keep going through Class A. Again, not much really to talk about early on in the classes, because there's some of the original cars in the game. And the car that ends at 1679, and which I have at 1679. I used this car for a long time in Class A. I remember I bought the LaFerrari before the P1, which is something a lot of people probably didn't do. Still have this one at 1524. Never made a video about this Porsche. Multiplayer one anyway. I think that was just before I started making multiplayer videos of pretty much everything. And the gold Zenvo TS1. You'll notice that not many of my cards actually have Max Pro. That's because I usually farmed just what I needed to upgrade the cars to the rank that I either wanted to record them at, 1679 as you can see here, and I never really farmed up past that because I never enjoyed farming. Most people didn't, but I wasn't one of the people that would stockpile 10 million or whatever. So that's why so many cars are at the ranks that I last used them at. And I didn't complete a whole lot of max collections, but still a good amount to get some token upgrades and stuff. 675 LT, my farming car for the longest time, still the car that I use if I want to farm for some reason, even though now that I have 200 cars, I'm not planning to go for really any more. MP425 again at 1679, one of my favorite cars in the game to drive because it's so fast speeding up. And I did finally get that Volcano. So here we have the Camaro SS. This car I used for a very long time multiplayer. It was my first really good multiplayer car. I have it at this rank of 1677 right now. I used it at like 1450 probably it was for a while, whenever I was using it. Oh yeah, then we have the Homage, which I still use in most of the S-Class events that I use. And this was my first really, really good multiplayer car that I got after the Camaro. I think even though I first got the Champion League in the MP425, I started using this one, it was better, and I used this one until I got the Vulcan, which we will get to later. So I still have this car at 1523. I plan to do a video with it at 1679 at some point, which is maxing it in 1800 or something like that in the tuning up. I don't remember exactly. Center 1, still a decent car. And more 1679 cars. And 1681 here, so we're into Class S now. The FXXK, not the FXK, the FXX Evolution, or whatever, how you pronounce it, was my first S-Class car that I bought. Yes, it wasn't the Veneno, it was this one. I think, at least this was the first one that I max pro'd. For some reason. I didn't know anything about the game back then. And the Suzuki Hayabusa is the first S-Class bike. Huracan, which I've sold all my blueprints for. Yeah, and then this Quattro, which is ridiculously expensive to upgrade, and I think this was notorious for being the first car that was super expensive to upgrade. And we have the Vanda. This one's on sale, but I don't have nearly enough money for it, so I'm not gonna buy it. And finally, this S-Class bike that took forever to come out. Egoista 1679. And I plan to make another video on this car, the Carrera GT, at a higher rank. The gold 1-to-1, which looks really nice. I think that F1 XP5 is actually given out in Elite League this current season. Okay, so the Ninja H2R, which I have at 1699. This bike was super fast, but doesn't really have much good anything else. Then I think this might be my highest ranked car in the game right now. Don't have those cars. And here we get to my 200th car, which I won for being in Champion League the past season. So it's very special to me, and I'm glad I could make it purple. I plan to upgrade it and do a video on it, but currently I do not have enough S-Class car parts. For some reason. I have plenty of engines. And then this one, which kind of brings back bad memories because its event was so annoying and I spent so many tokens in it. Let's move on. And the Secret Credit multiplayer car. Probably should tune this other 1679 guy up. Now we're getting to some of the big boys here. Got the Hesera GT, still a decent multiplayer car. The Triumph Nemesis. I want to make a video about this car at Max Pro, and I probably will still, just to revisit old days. Even though, well, not old days for me since I never Max Pro'd it, but you know what I mean. Okay, here we have the Vulcan, which was a car I used for so long, probably a year. Still, like, probably my all-time favorite car to use in multiplayer in Asphalt 9, simply because of all the memories that I had in it, using it for so long. I used it at 1679 for very long, then I got to 1747, which is Max Pro but 0 on handling. Very, very good. If you have the Vulcan, tune it here, risk points, you'll still do great. And the Devel 16, which I don't have. And the Apollo, which was the car that I used to get to Champion in the previous season. Still, I think this is my favorite car in the game right now to use in multiplayer, and it's probably the best one at this rank. Then the X2, which I have not pro'd. I can put it up to 10 on exhaust, I think. Maybe I'll make a video about that at some point. And the Lamborghini Centenario, which I have at 1679, and I think that just about wraps up Class S, because then we'll go back. Actually, no, wait. The next car is the Dodge Dart. As we can see, it's above everything else, so it's the king of the game. Not really. But hey guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing to see more Asphalt 8 and Asphalt 9 content. And I hope you enjoyed this garage video. It's not going to be my last Asphalt 8 video. I still plan to keep making ones of different cars that I already have. I don't plan to go for new ones. And I just realized something. My tokens being at 1699, exactly the rank of this car here. Interesting. So guys, I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.